What is up, Ivy Leaguers? We got a great show on tap for you today. This is the Ivy League Sports Podcast Show. Here with all your stuff. Today we are going to be looking at the 12-team college football playoff that is going on right now. Huge sweepstakes. This college football playoff is already starting to expose some teams. I mean, first round done, and we saw a crazy first round. So let's dive right into it. Our first little segment here. Why is this 12-team playoff different? What is different about it? And if you don't mind, I'm going to pull up my statistics and my notes here that I got on tap for us. I mean, let's look at it. Where is it? This playoff is exposing teams. We saw Oklahoma get exposed at home by Alabama. I mean, Oklahoma was up 17-0, and they looked to be storming Alabama off this field. But what happened? Well, it exposed the fact that Oklahoma is not what we would consider a playoff caliber team, not because they don't have talent and not because they don't have good coaching, okay? They have great coaching, great talent. But the fact that they are not one showed when adversity struck, there was turmoil both on the sidelines and on the field that we saw from the Oklahoma Sooners. And that is why this playoff is different, all right? I want to hit 3 points real quickly on why this playoff is different, okay? First point, you need depth. As a team, you need depth instead of having stars. Because look, we all know having a star is great. Alabama has Ryan Williams. He's a star, but he has played horrible this football season. Okay, we all know it. We all know it. Ryan Williams has had a horrible football season this year. And that is why Alabama has been able to recover because they have depth. Like guys like Latier Brooks, stepped up huge in the Oklahoma game, had 2 touchdowns. While Ryan Williams was dropping passes, we saw him play. We saw Rico Scott play. We saw 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th string receivers play. And that is why depth is hugely important. Same on the defensive side of the ball, because when you play more games in the playoffs, you have to have depth, especially on the up front in the line, in the trenches, because let's be honest, that's probably the most important point of these games. So it's important to have depth, okay? And that is something we have seen play huge roles. We saw it play last year in the 12-team playoff, and this year it is showing even more than ever. All right, that is why this playoff is different. Number 2, adjustments. Adjustments matter more than anything, okay? You have to adjust, okay? We saw Alabama start off, and I'm just using the Alabama-Oklahoma game because that was probably the most telling football game of this past weekend. Other than A&M and Miami was, I'll tell you how adjustments played into that one, but we saw Alabama starts off, they're down 17-0. What's going to happen? This starts raising questions of, is DeBoer going to get fired? Is he not? Well, he adjusted. They completely changed the offensive game plan from continuing with their struggling offense to saying, you know what, we're tired of struggling. They go quick pass, quick pass, quick pass, hurry to the line, quick pass to the left, hurry up to the line, quick pass to the right, boom, boom, boom. And it just got Oklahoma off their guard, really, and Alabama ended up benefiting because of it and scored 27 straight points off of it. Adjustments are key. And in Texas A&M Miami, we saw Miami adjust. Miami realized, okay, look, neither team's offenses are playing too hot. Both these defenses are crazy. Fine, we'll play field position battle. And they adjusted and made it a field position game. And that was huge in their win against Texas A&M. And number 3, the biggest part of all, the pressure is on. The pressure is on big time on all these teams, quite frankly. I mean, look at Texas A&M. Texas A&M failed to the pressure. You got a home playoff game. Miami's coming in. Miami's a questionable team. And A&M comes and lays an egg at home. The pressure's on. The pressure is there. If you don't think there's pressure in these football games, I can't help you. The pressure is 100% there. It's tough, okay? And here's one thing, one line that I really want to tell you, okay? The best team doesn't always win. It's a secret. The best team doesn't always win. It is the best built team that wins championships. There you have it. You want to hear it again? I bet you do. The best team doesn't always win. The best built team does. That's how it is. We saw that in the Alabama-Oklahoma game, and we saw that in the Miami-Texas A&M game. Put aside the other 2 first-round games because those were against pointless opponents. Okay? That is the key. That is why this playoff is different. And now let us jump right into our quarterfinal matchups. Okay, we got Ohio State versus Miami. Ohio State opens as a 10.5 point favorite, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Ohio State ranks a 10.5 point favorite, but it's kind of an interesting matchup when we break it down. I mean, let's look at these odds here. Look at Miami's stats. Miami has a pretty balanced profile. They're 19th in the nation in scoring, 6th in the scoring defense, which is pretty good, and has a top 20 passing attack. So they can hurt you with their offense, but we really didn't see it against Texas A&M, and quite frankly, I don't think we will see it against Ohio State. Ohio State has arguably one of the best defenses out there. And let's look at what the casual fan would look at. A casual fan looks at this matchup and says, Ohio State by 1,000,000. Let me tell you, that's not going to happen. Okay? Miami will find ways to stop Ohio State from scoring for 2 quarters. And here's the difference between Ohio State and Miami, folks. Adjustments. Like I said earlier. Adjustments. Just scream it from the rooftops. Put the hands up. Adjustments. That's what you have to do. Adjustments matter more than ever. Because, and here's what I'll say. I think Ohio State's coaching staff is so seasoned, so great. They have a wonderful coaching staff. Ryan Day's done a great job there. Love Ryan Day. I really think Ryan Day is a top-tier coach. They know how to adjust. They really know how to shift. If it's not working, all right, scratch that. New game plan at halftime. They'll do it. So Miami will hang in there for halftime in this Cotton Bowl matchup. But they'll change. And that is why I think Ohio State wins this. Now, the key matchup is, can Miami's defensive backs stick with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate? If they can't, Ohio State will run away with this one in the second half. I don't think that'll happen. I think it'll end up being a 10-point game. I like the spread here, 10.5. That's a really solid spread. But I think Ohio State wins due to the ability to adjust in that second half. Look, Miami's playing pretty free, but Ohio State's playing with a target. Okay? Miami's kind of here like, let's see how far we can go. Well, no. Ohio State says no. There's one goal. National championship. Now, they might have the target on their back, but Ohio State's got it. Ohio State's got it. Let us jump into our next matchup, the Orange Bowl. Oregon versus Texas Tech. And let us say one thing. This game is a pace versus control. And it really, we're going to look at this game and we're going to say we need to see what from Oregon to beat Texas Tech. Because in my opinion, a lot of people have been giving shade to Texas Tech. I mean, why would we give shade to Texas Tech? They lost one game in the regular season. They're 12-1, won the Big 12. They've earned to be the number 4 team in the country. Why are they not hyped up as the possible national championship contender? I really think they could do this. And I love their defense. Their defense ranks, I think, 3rd in turnover margin. Let's check that. Yeah, top 5 in turnover margin. I mean, they have sustained success. This is really an interesting matchup. I mean, we know that Oregon is known for its high-tempo, explosive offense, but Texas Tech is very similar. High-powered, explosive offense, but let's not forget, Texas Tech also has an incredibly good defense. This game is going to be a matchup for the ages, and I really think what's going to come out of this is not the offense. Look away from the offenses. We know both these teams have wonderful offenses. Here's what I'll say. The teams in this game, the team with the better defense will win. That's usually the case. In most games, the team with the better defense will win. In this game, it is more than just the case. All right? Fast doesn't always mean smart. And that is my quote for Oregon, because Oregon's going to go fast. We know them. They're quick. But Texas Tech is also fast. And you have to realize that if you're Oregon. You have to stop. I mean, look, this is the most explosive matchup out there. This is more explosive than any other matchup out there. And tempo will decide this game. Tempo will decide how this game changes. because if Texas Tech can limit Oregon's tempo and create Texas Tech's classic form of tempo, then they can win this game. Because Texas Tech is good at controlling tempo. And when Texas Tech gets control of the tempo, they typically don't give it up. And so if Oregon's key is that Oregon needs to keep the tempo in Oregon's hands, keep it away from Texas Tech. But Texas Tech's key, really simple, off the bat get tempo, and they probably won't give it up for the rest of the game. That is the key to that game right there. Like I said, most explosive matchup in the playoffs right now. And now we have Georgia versus Ole Miss. In the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Love New Orleans. What a town. Been to the Sugar Bowl once. Alabama versus Kansas State. It's a heck of a game. Really good time. That's a good one. This is an SEC chess match right here. All right? It is a rematch, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is a rematch. What was the score to that first one? It was, let's see, 43-35. So it was not a blowout by Georgia. And let's be frank, this Ole Miss team has been through a lot. The past month, it's been through the ringer. We'll just put it that way. Losing Lane Kiffin, and not just losing Lane Kiffin. Look, losing your head coach sucks. But the way Lane Kiffin left that leaves a hole in my heart. Not really. I mean, Ole Miss just has been beat up in the media everywhere this past month and a half. And now you have your chance to rewrite that narrative against Georgia. Both these teams have talent. Georgia probably has more talent because they're Georgia. But let's not pretend that Ole Miss doesn't have talent. Ole Miss has a whole lot of talent. This is not your classic, underdog SEC school. No. This is a loaded Ole Miss squad that could easily upset Georgia. But I'll tell you one thing about Georgia that I really think is true. They don't blink. They'll get in a dogfight. They will beat you however you want. In fact, they will give you the option. They'll say, how do you want to be beat? And you will have it. And quite frankly, I don't see Ole Miss competing with that. We saw it in the first matchup, 43-35, Georgia. They said, all right, let's make it a shootout. I think Georgia's going to say, you know what? Let's try it and go in the trenches with us. And I don't think Ole Miss can keep up with that. Ole Miss has a good defense. They do. They have a good offense. But it's just going to be too close of a matchup in the trenches for Ole Miss to have a shot to pull it out. I really do kind of wish they would, because it could be fantastic. But Ole Miss wants fireworks, and Georgia wants a headache. So that's the argument there. And the team that wins this game, it'll be the team that blinks first, the team that makes a mistake. I think, like, if Georgia all of a sudden turns the ball over twice, well, maybe Ole Miss gets a shot at it. Vice versa for Ole Miss. If Ole Miss turns the ball over, can't turn the ball over against Georgia. Alabama saw that in the SEC championship, and Georgia dog-walked them. So it'll be crazy. That should be a fun one. A chess match, like I said. And now on to my game. Alabama versus Indiana in the Rose Bowl. It should be a showdown. And look, I give all due respect to Indiana. Okay? Indiana, undefeated season. They're going to the Rose Bowl. They deserve it. They've played a great season for the Big Ten. I know. I just said it. Indiana played a great season for the Big Ten. Let me tell you a stat. Indiana has not beaten a Power 4 team outside of the Big Ten in 2 years. But Ivy, Indiana's a 6.5-point favorite. What do you say? The fact that Indiana is a 6.5-point favorite is disrespectful to the Alabama Crimson Tide. The Alabama Crimson Tide have, in my opinion, the second best defense in the SEC, second only to Georgia. The Alabama Crimson Tide's offense found its legs against Oklahoma, and they scored 27 unanswered points. The Alabama Crimson Tide forced, 1-2 turnovers against Oklahoma? At Oklahoma? Oklahoma had to walk 50 Cent out, and that didn't help them. I mean, if 50 Cent walked out here onto this show, I mean, it helped me, let's be honest. It would help me. The difference in this game is pressure. And what you look at historically, what helps in a playoff matchup like this? It is experience. You've been there before. And let's be honest, Indiana was here last year. They got pummeled by Notre Dame. Alabama's been here a lot. I mean, in their fight song, they say, "Remember the Rose Bowl, we'll win." Yeah. Go over all the victory, hit your stride. Okay. I could go on and on with that. And yes, I'm an Alabama fan, but let me explain why I'm picking them. I think that Indiana has been inflated by the national media. Don't get me wrong, they are a great football team. And they're going to give Alabama everything they've got, and Alabama's going to give everything they've got. I think Kurt Signetti has done a great job, but I think talent will show in this game. I think that Alabama has the talent edge, and Indiana has great talent. They've got the best quarterback in the nation, and Fernando Mendoza. Don't get me wrong. And they beat Ohio State, yes. And they beat Oregon, yes. They beat Oregon, correct? Yes, they did beat Oregon. But they also beat Penn State on a prayer. I mean, I just don't think that they are as good as what the national media has made them. And we'll find out. I also don't think they've seen a defense quite like Alabama's, other than Ohio State. Outside of Ohio State, I don't think they've seen a defense as good as Alabama's. And they only beat Ohio State by 3 points. Ohio State missed a field goal in that game. Okay? This is a game of experience versus momentum. Alabama's had guys who've been here before. All right? They've got a loaded roster. Okay? Pressure will change everything. I want to see Alabama's defense get to Fernando Mendoza, and I want to see what Fernando Mendoza does. If Fernando Mendoza gets right back up and throws a touchdown pass, fine. Indiana wins. And if Indiana wins this game, I think they win the national championship. But they have to win this game. And I think if they don't win this game, watch out for Alabama. I think Alabama's going to win this game because of experience. I think that Ty Simpson has found his swagger back. I mean, we're going to roll the clips. Roll the clips of Ty Simpson talking right back to those Oklahoma players. Roll the clips of him after the win. Alabama has a certain swagger about him. They've gotten all that swagger back. Xavier Brown after the pick six. Ty Simpson during the win. Ty Simpson before the win. He sounds like Saban. He sounds like a leader. He sounds like I would follow him into war. If Ty Simpson was a war general, I would follow him into war. I really, really think that Alabama is going to win this game due to that. Due to the fact that they have experience and they have guys that have been here before, and the fact that they have been through a brutal SEC schedule. Look at their schedule. It's brutal. And they only lost, 3 games to it? They beat Georgia once, lost to Oklahoma once, but beat them again. I think Alabama wins this game in a shootout in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. Here we go. All right, real quickly, some quick hitters. Safest team left. Safest team this weekend, I think it's the Georgia Bulldogs. Yes, I said it. I think Georgia will handle Ole Miss. Most likely upset, I just said it, Alabama and Indiana in the Rose Bowl. I think Alabama wins that. And here's the team that nobody wants to face. And that team is Texas Tech, in my opinion. I would not want to face Texas Tech if I'm a team. Not at all. And one take that you'll defend later. All right? One take that you will just love to bash me for. But I'm going to say it right now. Alabama will beat Indiana and will go on to make the national championship. I think that happens. You may hate me now, but just wait. I think it'll happen. And I think if Alabama controls Fernando Mendoza, it'll happen. There you go. Closing time. Look, this playoff is not about hype. It's about survival. And that is the key that you have to learn. It's not about hype. It's not about which game is the biggest. Ooh, who's going to get the most views? No. It's about surviving and advancing. Once you get that through your head, there you have it. This is the college football playoffs, and this is why we love it. Comment which game you're most excited for. Who do you think is... Let's see. Comment which game you're most excited for, and also comment which team you trust the most this week, or not this week, but this coming week for New Year's. All right? Happy New Year's from Ivy Taylor. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. This is Ivy Taylor signing off.